In this video I want to talk about the short story The Initiation of an Irishman. The story is told through the eyes of the main character and it is a first-person narrator. It's also a personal narrator because we only see and hear the feelings of the main character. The protagonist is a young man who just moved to New York City 2 days ago. He comes from Ireland, from a small town, and quickly we start to learn about his personality, and quickly you learn that he isn't the best guy with people. For example, he goes to a bar with his new friend that he's just met because he lives the same place as him, and they go to this bar, and the other guy, which is an Irish guy who lives and was born in America, is out to get some girls, but our main character doesn't really know how to do that and ends up embarrassed because one of the girls made fun of him. This also shows when he has just started his new job, which is cleaning up in a hotel lobby, where the guests sometimes say hi to him, but he can't really answer back because he gets too stressed about it and doesn't know how to react. Another example is when he goes to see a Shakespeare piece, and he ends up eating his pie on the toilet because he's afraid of what the other guests will think about him if he does it in there. Now I want to talk about the title, The Initiation of an Irishman, which I think reflects the kind of person that he is, which is a guy who doesn't really know himself too well, and now he's gone into the world to experience how it is to live in America and to experience what he can get out of his own personality. The big leap is that he doesn't really know how to be his own person, because he comes from this little town where he has his role and he has had that role for a long time, but now he has the opportunity to become the person who he wants to be. And there are so many things in the world that he doesn't even know about yet, which is going to shape his future. Now I want to talk about the setting, and the place where the story takes place is New York City. The first place where we meet the main character is in a bar where he gets 2 beers, and the bartender tells him to go and read some books in the library instead of sitting here in the bar. He does as he's told and goes to the big library on 5th Avenue, and he's amazed how big the library it is and how many people just sit and read books. Later in the story we hear about the bar situation, and I think the bar is a reflection of the middle or lower class people who live in New York and how he doesn't really fit in there because he comes from another place. The way of living and the way of talking to people is a foreign thing to him. He's not used to talking to girls that way, which his new friend is doing it. Then when he starts his new job, we see him in the upper class in a very expensive hotel where rich people come and talk and live. This doesn't show him in a rich situation, but it shows how he is beneath all of them and he isn't welcome in this community. Throughout the story, there is talked about Irish people in different ways. For example, our main character talks about the Irish people, which is the people he knows throughout his entire life, as a kind and relaxed people. On the other hand, we have the bartender from the beginning of the story, which portrays Irish people as another race and tells him not to end up like his own kind. The barman very much sees the Irish people as a drinking people, I think. Our protagonist's new friend which brings him to the bar, also shows like a hatred for the Irish people, even though he originates from Ireland too, because he doesn't want to go to an Irish bar. All this hostility against the Irish people or the Irish country doesn't really affect our protagonist, because he has moved from the country because he wants to experience something new, and therefore I don't think it bugs him to hear people talking about his home, which he has left for a reason.